What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliate and scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. What is it? I don't like that. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. It's Friday. Oh my God, what a Friday. I will say that it's probably been one of the better days or one of the better weeks that I've had in a while. Even though there have been a lot of different things that's going on. You know, Rita had her procedure yesterday, which went absolutely beautiful. So I thank you guys for all of your prayers and holding her down. So she has a lot of what I would call assistance. So many different people is over here right now. So if you hear anything that's happening inside of the background, I told them to shut the door. But if you hear anything that's in the background, then that's what's happening over here. It's a bunch of people over here coming over here to make sure she's taken care of and catering to her every need and all of that stuff. So she's absolutely awesome, and I appreciate you guys for the well wishes, for the prayers, and for holding us down. We continue on the stream here, and I'm not really sure how long I'm going to be streaming here. I don't know if I'm going straight back to the studio on Monday. I don't know. I got to figure that out. So we'll figure that out over the weekend. But yeah, man, so everything has went really, really well this week, even though it seems like, oh my God, you know, you got to go through this, or you got to deal with that. The successes, man, what comes through. A lot of times we focus on what we're going through instead of focusing on the results. And the results are so much more spectacular than what we go through. So it's Friday, man. You made it through another week. You made it through, like, what is this, the second? 7, 14, 21. Almost the third week, third week of the year. We winning, man. If you woke up this morning and you in a good space and you got your right mind and you have another opportunity, I don't care what your circumstance is. It really does not matter where you find yourself or what happened yesterday or yesteryear. Today is a new day. Tomorrow is going to be a new opportunity. And so as long as you're taking steps to be successful today, that's it, man. Y'all got to leave the past and behind you, bro. Don't worry about people that keep trying to drag you back to your past. Don't worry about people that keep trying to hold you accountable for things that happened in the past. If you've apologized, if you've held yourself accountable, if you brought yourself to the front of the congregation, if you've asked God for forgiveness, if you've sought forgiveness from the person that you did dirty or you did wrong, man, listen, man, that's under the bridge. Now that's up to them of what they're gonna do with that information. But as far as you trying to atone for your mistakes and you making up for it and you did what you were supposed to do, you ask for forgiveness and then you go about forgiving other people that may have wronged you because you want to be forgiven according to how you forgive other people. It's time to work. It's time to work. It's time to move. It's time to work. It's time to make it happen. Forget all of that nonsense. We're not worried about it. Listen, if you've done any time in prison or whatever like that, you paid your debt to society, it's time to work. If you've done somebody wrong in your past, maybe it's a baby mama or a baby daddy or something like that, and you making it shake and you doing what you got to do in order to atone for that situation, it's time to work. Straight up. If you might have lost the job in the past, I lost the job in the past in the 2007, 2008 recession. And, I learned from that junk, but I ain't let that junk hold me back. I was like, listen, never again, never again. This is a lesson that God ain't gonna have to teach me twice. It's time for me to run it up. And ever since then, we've been running. Ever since then, we've been running. And so y'all got to let that past go. A lot of people are letting they past. And I don't, man, it's so funny because I don't even know what I'm going to say when I'm going to get on here. I just tell y'all my authentic thoughts of what I got going on in my life and what my thoughts are. A lot of y'all are letting y'all past and the people hold things over your head for your past and preventing you from getting successful and becoming what you need to be. It's so many blessings on the other side of stepping over your past. You keep putting your past right in front of you instead of your past being behind you. And so that prevents you from being successful. You got to let that go. I don't care what it is. You atone for it, you take accountability for it, you ask for forgiveness, you forgive yourself, and then you forgive other people, and then it's time to move. I'm not about to spend not one additional second on anything that happened in my past if it's not something that I can learn from and benefit from today. I don't go out and hang out with people in my past. I don't go out and try to see my old hood. I don't want to see what's happening with all of the girls that I used to talk to and date. I don't go and look up people on Instagram and Facebook. I don't care. I'm too busy running forward to be paying attention to what goes on behind me. And the faster that you run forward, the less availability you have to look behind you, because what'll happen is the minute that you take your eyes off the road, that's when you crash. You're supposed to be cruising, but instead you focusing on what's happening behind you. They trying to catch up to you. I ain't got time to be focusing on them. I'm focusing on catching the person that's in front of me. And so y'all got to let that go. Let whatever it is that's shaking you, let whatever it is that's holding you and controlling you. Sometimes it's something that somebody did to you that you're allowing yourself to be prevented from really being able to be successful. Oh, they did this to me or they pissed me off. Don't you know that person and already moved on with their life and they're winning? And that's why I say forgiveness is important, because forgiveness is for you. It's not just for the other person. Forgiveness is for you because it releases you from the past and allows for you to thrive. Nobody said that you got to go over there and be kissing on a butt and making up with them and stuff like that. Listen, make it shake. Let it go under the bridge. It is what it is. There's plenty of people that done me dirty. And I'll be like, hey, man, listen, we cool, bro. I want you to win. I want you to listen. If you want me to forgive you, then all you got to do is forgive somebody else. And then go out here and do what you got to do to make this earth a better space. You can't do nothing for me. I'm running. I'm gone. I'm out the door. I'm gone. You can't do nothing for me but do something for yourself. I already forgave you before you ever came to me. It's already under the bridge. You want to make it shake? You want to make a move? You want to get to it? Man, I ain't on that, man. Listen, once you get past a certain age, and I wish that young people would actually take this a little bit more serious before they get older, because you don't know when your time is up. Once you start getting a little bit older and a little bit more mature, you'll start to realize exactly how much time you wasted in your life. Occasionally, I look up something. Let me pull it up for you real quick. Let me pull this up. See if I can find this really quickly. And, it's a chart. It's a statistics chart. And it says, Man, I forgot what it was. It's like a thing that basically breaks down how long or how much time you spend in the bathroom and how much time you spend sleeping, how much time you spend, and it'd be years of how much time you spend. Um, I don't know where it's at. According to this website, it says you spend 79 years on average, 28,835 days. That's how much you got on average. You got almost 80 years. You got an 80-year window. So if that be true, and I'm 41 years old today, that means that I'm on the tail end of my life. I've already crossed over the threshold. God, I hope you allow for me to live to 90 in great health, right? And it says this is how much of your lives you spend, right? Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on, give me a second. I want to see if I can get a better illustration of this. And again, I did not anticipate doing this or having this conversation per se, but I want to see if I could pull this up because I want you to really understand. Uh, Not Fannie. Give me a second. I don't want to do Fannie. Forget Fannie Mae. This is what we want to get to. All right. So this is the chart. It says you got 79 years on this earth, right? And on average, you have about 28,835 days. On average, the average person spends 33 years in the bed. You spend 33 years. Throughout our lives, we spend an enormous 26 years sleeping. 33 years in the bed, 26 years sleeping, right? And I do this and I look at this stuff occasionally because it reminds me and it puts into my mind exactly what it takes in order for me to be successful and whether or not I'm wasting my time. So when I go to bed, a lot of times I'm very, very careful. See, a lot of y'all will go to bed and you'll spend 8, 9 hours in the bed, but you'll spend 2 or 3 of it on your phone scrolling up and down. You'll be like this the whole time, scrolling. And I'm thinking to myself, well, listen, I would rather be up working on my computer or doing something productive or getting ahead so that I can do what I really want to do on the weekend instead of spending time inside of the bed just scrolling up and down all day, right? So when I hit the bed, I'm going to get a hot 5 to 6 hours. Me and you getting the same amount of sleep. You just sitting there scrolling on your phone and then you acting like, yeah, I sleep for 8 hours. No, you don't. You scroll for 2, you sleep for 7, and then you hit the snooze button a bunch of times, right? But for me, I'm going to get all of the time that I'm in the bed, sleep. And when I'm not sleeping, I'm up and I'm getting to it because I know I have a limited amount of time that allows for me to really be successful and take advantage of whatever it is that I'm going to do in this lifetime, right? You spend 26 years sleeping, but you spend another 7 years laying in the bed. And this is serious. I'm telling you. Real talk. It goes on to say you spend 13 years on average, 4,821 days working. And that includes 1 year and 14 months of additional overtime, right? That means if you continue to go over, when you sitting on the phone, and actually I think that this is old, because this is actually taking into consideration people sitting in front of the TV and watching TV. If you looking at this, it say you spend 11 years watching TV. Now think about it. You gonna spend time on your device or you gonna spend time watching TV anyway. Why wouldn't I spend that time on something that's actually meaningful and productive? Why would I spend that time wasting it on something that's not actually adding value in my life? You telling me I got to consume a bunch of BS? I got to sit here and listen to people going back and forth, whining and complaining about each other, and they not even going to be beefing with each other in 3 days, but I got to sit here and deal with that junk? You telling me I got to really, really try to understand without gaining any value because it's okay to be entertained, but you also want to make sure that you're getting something out of it, right? 8 years watching TV, 3 years on social media. I think that that's flipped. I think that that's flipped. This is how long you spend eating. You spend 4 years and 6 months sitting and eating. Now, these are all of the things that you just doing that's not really adding any meaningful thing to your life if you're not really intentional about it, right? 3 years and 1 month and 3 weeks on holidays, 1 year and 4 months exercising, right? The romantic side of your life, you spend 1 year and 30 days being romantic. Nah, I'm going to have to increase that. 334 days in school, right? And remember, it's 24 hours in a day. So you take 24 hours and you multiply it by 334, and that's how long you spent in school, right? And this is what you got left. I don't know if this goes into it. Oh, okay. After all of this is added together, now think about this. This is really the microcosm of what life is. After you do all of the things that everybody else require you to do, right? After all of the things that they require you to do, you only got 8.2 years to do what you want to do. You got 79 years on this earth. 71 of them, you did things that everybody else wanted you to do. You wasn't meaningful. You wasn't intentional. You wasted your time. You pretended like you was depressed. You was looking for validation. And you got 8 years left. Let me highlight it for you because I really want you to understand this. At the end of the day, when you get done playing games, for those of us that actually live to be 79, 80 years old, you only got 8 years to make it shake. I don't have time to hold a grudge against you. I don't have time to be wasting on things that's not meaningful in my life and to be spending it around people that's actually trying to backstab me. I don't have time to be spending it with women that ain't adding value into my life. I don't have time to just be sitting around shooting the breeze with dudes that's going to jail tomorrow. I don't have time to go back and revisit a place that I already grew up in because I lived it once. I'm not going to be living it twice. I don't have time to sit here and go and do things that I don't want to do. I'm not going on a cruise because I don't like cruises. I'm not going to spend time on a cruise ship because I don't like it. Why would I do it and waste that amount of time that I can allocate towards something that's actually meaningful? If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to be awoke, I'm going to make it count. If I'm going to be woke, I'm going to make it count. I'm not going to sit here and play no games and go back and forth about things that don't mean anything to me with people that's not actually feeding into what I have to do in order to be greater as a version of myself. You can have that. You can have your beef. You can have your hate. You can have your looking back. You can have going looking up people on Instagram or Facebook that you done long forgotten. And I'm not checking to see what you're doing. I'm not checking to see what you got going on. I'm running it up. And that's why I spent, when I was talking to Rita from the very beginning of when we started having start getting together, whatever. And I set the precedent very early. And I said, Rita, let me help you to understand something. This is how we going to play this. And this is the honest to God truth. I said, when we get together, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to grind. We're going to live this full life. But we going to spend 1% of our time, 2% of our time on things that we don't like about each other. And we're going to spend the other 98, 99% of our time on things that's meaningful that we actually care about and we're going to enjoy. I'm not sitting here trying to change you. I want to embrace the thing that I like about you the most. I'm not spending no time sitting here going back and forth with you. I'm not about to raise my voice. I'm not about to argue with you. Y'all keep telling me and sitting here talking about Anton. Relationships is supposed to be work. No, it's not. I don't have to be like that. I don't have to live in this zone that y'all living in. Relationships are not supposed to be work. They're supposed to be enjoyable. Now, will you go through growing pains together? Yes, but that doesn't mean it has to be work. That doesn't mean we have to argue. That don't mean it has to be beef. That just means that we can have a civilized discussion and we can move forward. And I'm only going to spend a minimal amount of my time on it because if I got 80 years on this earth, I'm not going to spend it arguing with you. I would rather walk away and go in and be fulfilled and do something else than to sit here going back and forth with you. I'm not arguing with no woman in real life. I'm not going back and forth with you and beefing with you in real life. I'm not about to get into a fight with you and be spending a portion of my life in prison. Think about it. There's dudes that are going sit down and do 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Bro, that's 15 years out of your life. I'm not about to be spending 15 years in a jail cell over ego and having child with a bunch of hard legs in a room when I could be sitting out here having a good time and enjoying life and living on the beach and flying where I want to go? Man, I'm not sitting here playing no games with you. So for everybody that try to get y'all to crash out, for everybody that think that they wasting their time, be meaningful, be intentional, let that junk go and run it up. It's Friday. We gonna have a good time. We not gonna fumble the bag. We gonna be intentional. We gonna enjoy friends. We gonna enjoy family. We gonna go and have some good food. We gonna have good energy. We gonna make sure that our algorithm is feeding into the things that's actually peaceful, entertaining, and meaningful to us that can actually add value into our life. Shout out to the bag chasers and the Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. We running it up. We ain't got no time and no energy for nothing that's negative. I'm not focusing my energy on you. I'm focusing my energy on them. And those are the people, the bag chasers, that's actually pouring into me. I'm pouring into them. And our experience on this earth is going to be much better and greater as a result of it. That's what I'm on. So if y'all not on that, miss me with that. Let me go ahead and get started with the shout out to everybody that's out here. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you, big dog, for holding me down. Shout out to Gone Postal. I appreciate you, bro. Again, y'all really need to tap into the Patreon. Let me read some of these super chats. Hold on one second. Miss a lot in the building says big wins on the board already this year. That's a chaser right there. That's a bag chaser. That's a Patreon member. That's one of the people that I coach on a regular basis. Said interview like a king in a Patreon. Enough said. Shout out to the chasers. Prayers for Rita. Thank you, Miss Salata. I appreciate you for holding me down, my friend. And I am so glad that you're getting value out of what we do over here on the Millionaire Morning Show and in the Patreon. CJ Mose says Rita finally got that BBL. Yeah, right. I ain't having that. I ain't never having that, but that's a good one. I like that one, my G. Sincerely, Jonica says, happy Friday, Anton. If y'all ever seen, Rita don't need no BBLs, for real. Happy Friday, Anton. Praying for Rita and your family continuously. God's got you. Stay blessed, my friend. Yeah. Preston Walker's in the building says, no fumbling on Friday. Idaho Bag Chasers, appreciate you. Latrell just came in and dropped that 2 ball off in a collection plate. Thank you, my friend. Next level MF says MF equal move. Next level moving forward. I love that. Shout out to you, big dog. Regime is in the building. Says Tom Dog, don't miss. Never have, never will. Shout out to my dog. You got to get that ET interview. Yo, I had reached out to ET, but it was like it might have been a couple years ago. So I may not have been as relevant as I am today. I had reached out to their team and I said, hey, is it possible for me to be able to get an interview? And it was like, oh, ET is not doing any interviews right now. Would you like to do it with any of his understudies? And I was like, no, I don't know his understudies. I only know him. So I said, I'll try back later on. So shout out to ET and the team. Shout out to CJ, all of them boys over there at ET Inspires. We love what y'all do over here. Y'all actually made a significant impact into my life, and I will reach out to, because my guy, my people, my ladies, my gentlemen, everybody that's a part of the Chasers, and Nurses Ain't Nice says you need to reach out again for that ET interview, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you, my friend. Yusef Amin says, Anton, what do you think about accounting as a college? I think it's fine. Accounting, finance, all of that stuff is fine. I think that's fine. If that's what you want to go into, that's fine. As long as you don't go into a basket weaving degree, liberal arts, some crap like that, then it's fine. Young Jedi says, I bet Anton will hit the mute button. I bet you I won't. I ain't even going to reach for the mute button today. Jamal Fowler says, peace and prosperity to you and your family. Peace and prosperity to you also, times 10. I want you to get it back times 10. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Y'all blessing your boy today early. Okay. All right. Let's get to it then. All right. Let's see. What we gonna do? Quick hits. I'll read super chats throughout the show, and then let's go ahead and get started with your quick hits, y'all. Let's get it popping. Quick hits is a segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't think necessarily deserve an entire segment dedicated to it, but we want to keep you guys informed on what's going on across the United States of America. First and foremost, winter weather is continuing to pummel the United States of America. Take a look.
Extreme winter weather continues to pummel much of the country, with nearly 70 million people under alerts, and the frigid cold conditions have once again turned deadly. Ryan Smith is tracking it all at the live desk. Ryan.
Yeah, that death toll just continues to rise. At least 46 people now across 9 states tied to these brutally cold conditions that began just last week. A live look for you here tonight over Portland, Oregon, the state with the highest death count of at least 10 people after back-to-back ice storms. Let's show you our live desk radar here tonight, now showing freezing rain just pounding that entire area still tonight. That will continue into tomorrow as well. Right now, more than 45,000 homes and businesses without power at this hour tonight. In the Northeast we go. Lake effect snow is not letting up there. This video right here showing the scary moments when an American Airlines plane skid right off the runway. This happened in Rochester, New York. Thankfully, no injuries to report there. It is now under investigation. Live look tonight at the FlightAware map showing more than 4,400 flights delayed tonight and at least 700 cancellations. More than 60 million people now under winter weather alerts as we look ahead to the weekend. Philadelphia alone could receive between 4 to 6 inches of snow tomorrow. It's been at least 3 years now since that area has seen that much snow in a single day. Bone-chilling temperatures are expected across the South and Midwest. Wind chills will plunge back to dangerous levels by tomorrow, increasing the risk of frostbite and hypothermia.
So y'all definitely want to make sure that y'all being careful while we still being blanketed with all of this winter weather. I heard that there was a lot of flights that was kind of being canceled and things that was going on. So be very, very careful what's going on with the weather, y'all, because we don't want anybody to be stranded, hurt, problems. I know that it's a lot going on in the South, and y'all act like y'all ain't never seen snow in the South before. I've been watching all of these videos on TikTok and stuff of people going too fast, getting their cars hit by snow plows, running into the trees. Even here in Michigan, there's some idiots and some dummies that's here in Michigan like they ain't never been here before. They think that just because they got four-wheel drive that they can drive at regular speeds when it's snow and ice on the road. And then you see every other Jeep, pickup trucks and Jeeps just be in the ditch all day. It don't be regular cars because the regular cars know that they ain't capable. But it's the people that get overly confident and they act like they can't drive over here in Michigan. And you see all of these stupid Jeeps inside of the ditch because they didn't realize that you still can't go as fast as you want to go on ice, and 4x4 don't prevent you from being able to slip out, all right? Then you got to get towed out because you're looking like a fool, all right? So be very, very careful. Act like y'all know how to drive. That's what's going on out in these streets. Also, on Quick Hits, ladies and gentlemen, California food prices is now exploding as though we didn't know that was coming. But take a look.
Well, expect to pay more at your favorite fast food joint this year as minimum wage for all fast food employees hits $20 an hour in April under a new law. Several franchise and restaurant owners say their only choice is to raise prices.
But some customers claim the price hikes are simply a way for owners to take advantage of rising prices everywhere else. KTLA's Samantha Cortese live in North Hollywood, where the lines are still wrapped around the corner for now. Sam.
Micah and Cher here on Lancashire. The drive-thru at McDonald's has been nonstop for the last few hours, but soon what would cost you $11 at McDonald's will soon cost $13. Businesses say that's because minimum wage has gone up and they're going to have to pay their workers more. The reaction from customers here tonight is mixed. Fast food is about to get more expensive in California. Oh no, they're already expensive. Restaurant operators are blaming minimum wage. In April, fast food workers' minimum wage in California will go from $16 to $20 per hour. Governor Newsom signed into law Assembly Bill 1228. It is meant to address cost of living for fast food workers. Business Insider talked to an owner of a few fat burgers in Los Angeles. He said he has no other option than to raise prices, saying it's scary because customers are already complaining they're too high, like Katia Perez.
I'm honestly pissed. These used to be $1, you feel me?
She stopped by the McDonald's in North Hollywood for a quick meal after a long shift. Her order of a sandwich and fries used to be on the dollar menu. Now,
$5.69.
So there will no longer be any dollar millionaires. Yo, have y'all noticed that as the value of the dollar continues to go down because inflation goes up, the cost to be able to have workers and stuff like that goes up, that now it's almost like if you go to the strip club, you can get a discount if you're getting it in singles? Neither here nor there. Listen, that's the way my mind works. So just ignore that. Act like I never said that. And then last but not least, Taraji P. Henson is very much complaining, ladies and gentlemen, and let me tell you why. She's basically saying that okay, let me get the quote right. She went on to the Today Show. I wasn't able to source the video for you guys, but I'm sure it'll be released next week. Or maybe I'll do a review on it on the weekend or something like that. But she went on the Today Show and she was basically saying that it's not fair for her Color Purple comments to become louder than the film. They're largely starting to put eyes on her and blame Taraji P. Henson for too much visibility on things that didn't matter for the film, and then the film not living up to expectations from a financial perspective as far as even being able to make its money back. It goes on to say that she has been very vocal about topics like mistreatment on set and the pay disparity that exists in Hollywood. Her comments set the internet ablaze, and now she feels the narrative surrounding the movie have shifted in an unfair way. The actress sat down with Today earlier in the week to discuss why the focus needs to move back to the movie itself. She says, I hope they can focus back onto this film because right now, to me, it feels like what I said is now becoming louder than this beautiful film. She continued by relating her sentiments back to the theme of the movie, saying, and that's not fair to me. Let me reiterate what she said again. She says, her words becoming more visible and louder than the film itself is not fair to her or anybody in the film because the film deals with women who are oppressed, who live in an oppressed system, men and women, and all the characters in that film except for the white people. So that movie is about healing, and the movie is about sisterhood. Okay, so the movie had more being about her, more than a movie, and I already talked about this. I already talked about the fact that I honestly think that she's going to be labeled as difficult to work with. Because every time you got to deal with somebody and they messing up the money and, they keep on going on tour and they keep crying every single day talking about why it is that they unfair and why she should have had a driver instead of having a car that was given to her, what type of money she was making, having all of these viral moments, feeling a certain type of way about Oprah and all of that. When you keep making it about you and you keep taking it away from the things that they're trying to do, you're going to make it very, very difficult for people to work with you. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. I heard that I was looking at a story also, which I didn't know how to fit this in. But I was looking at a story that was saying that Diddy and Diageo, remember when Diddy was going back and forth about Diageo? We're going to actually attack that Monday because I want to get the whole story, not just the clips from the news and the articles. I want to get the whole story. And I seen some of y'all mention that inside of the chat. I want to get the whole story and I want to recap what I had already predicted when I was breaking down what he was saying. The problem was between him and Diageo late last year and earlier in the middle of last year when he had filed the lawsuit basically alleging discrimination. And I want to start going back and start reviewing, or maybe I'll do it on After Hours tonight. Now, we'll say that for Monday. So I'm going to break down the whole situation, but that definitely deserves more than an After Hours segment. Let me read a couple of super chats, and then we're going to continue on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my dog, Brock, with the Pass the Love offering with the 5-ball. I appreciate you. Thank you, Brock. A.R. Smitty is in the building, says, E.T. was my advisor at MSU. Great guy. Yeah, I think that he is a great guy. Self-Made Forever says, AD preaching, but ladies, your sexual past will always matter. We don't need to know about more women getting on these panels swearing they virgins, but their mouth isn't. Ladies, now that's an exception. That's one of the rare exceptions where your past body count matters. Listen, fellas, ladies, if you got a disease, if you got herpes, If you're sitting on HIV, guess what? Your past then matters. You know what I'm saying? BC is in the building, says, I'm still laughing at Mayor Eric Adams reading. Dog, that junk had me on the flow. I'm going to drop that as a clip today. Marilyn Bannister is in the building with the 2-ball. Thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate you, love. A.R. Smitty says, how to get blackballed 101. Blackballing theyself. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, A.R. Smitty, for holding me down. We do have after hours tonight. After hours is going to be popping off tonight, so make sure y'all tuned in. If you're not on the after hours train, the after hours train, just type it in YouTube, after hours with Anton Daniels. It's going to pop right up on your screen, and we're going to have a good time tonight, all right? So, first thing that we want to tackle right now is Fani Willis. Now, Fani Willis, let me tell you what my prediction is with Fani, old Fannie Mae over here. I think that Fani Willis, and for those of y'all that's not familiar with who Fani Willis is, if this is your first time over at the channel, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Tap into the Patreon, link is in the description, and then Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. It's a phenomenal product. Fani Willis is the Fulton County DA down there in Georgia. Fani Willis is largely gotten a lot of visibility from a couple different cases, including her prosecution of, I believe, Young Thug and YSL. And then also she's at the forefront of the prosecution of Trump down in Georgia, because you know they're trying to get him removed from the ballots and stuff like that. So Fani Willis is she's always been in the news. She's been right there, and she's prosecuting Trump and his co-defendant and trying to get him jammed up so that they can try to, in my opinion, mess up what's going on with the 2024 election, right? Because Biden has no chance in winning in hell, if you ask me. They could have picked a better candidate than Biden, but we're going to get to that in a minute also. But Fani Willis is basically on the hot seat. Now, what we've noticed in history, because all of this is alleged right now, but what we've noticed in history, especially with women in power, whether it be politics or whatever, such as the Tiffany Henyard, the mayor and supervisor of Thornton Township in Dolton. We've seen it happen with the East Point mayor over there in East Point, Michigan, and women that's drunk with power. And now we're seeing her jump up on the pulpit, and she's declaring that they persecuting her and it's racism and all of this stuff. But she's starting to fight back. She's not just taking it sitting down. She said, listen, I got something for y'all. Let's get into it.
6 explosive allegations and a story swirling around Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis.
In a new court filing, Willis says the wife of the man she hired to be a special prosecutor is interfering with this case. The document alleges special prosecutor Nathan Wade's wife is using her divorce case to impact the Fulton County case investigating former President Trump for meddling in Georgia's 2020 election. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live tonight outside.
Can we take some time to give a level of appreciation a woman-on-woman crime right now? Matter of fact, can we get a round of applause for women doing the thing that's not in their best interest and going against each other in order to make sure that they throw each other under the bus real quick? See, it's not always just men and women. The gender war could be men and women working together, but then another woman going at another woman because she don't like the fact that it's a possibility, allegedly, that you slept with her husband. And so Fani is allegedly saying, listen, this girl's wife, or the wife that he's going through a divorce with, is slowing down what we got going on from a business perspective and trying to prosecute these people and get these people in jail or get them jammed up. She said, look, they alleging this, but we haven't proven it. And your divorce proceedings is really jamming me up over here, baby girl. What you got going on? Yo, the arrogance, the sheer arrogance, the sheer to stand on a pulpit and say that they not only persecuting you, but the sheer arrogance of saying, listen, that's your man. Check him. Don't check me. That's your man. Check him. Don't check me. Shout out to Fani Willis standing on business.
Outside the Fulton County Courthouse.
Doug, Willis will have to address these allegations in court, and this is going to happen soon.
Yeah, very soon, guys. Just a couple of weeks. A judge today said that DA Willis will have to go into the Fulton County Courthouse on February 15th and be there in person. He was very specific about that, to go ahead and respond to these allegations of an improper relationship with the man she hired to be a special prosecutor. But we'll know more before then. He also ordered that she had to respond to these in written fashion by February 2nd. And so that wasn't the only court filing that we got today. You just mentioned it a moment ago, but a few hours after we learned about that court date, Willis's attorneys made another court filing accusing Wade's estranged wife, Jocelyn, of interfering with this case through that divorce proceeding. The filing says she served Willis with a subpoena to testify in the Wade's divorce case to, quote, embarrass and harass her. The document even went so far as to accuse Jocelyn Wade of conspiring with defendants in this election indictment to derail the case altogether. Attorneys we talked to today said the accusations here, while they are very salacious, may not even have an impact on this case when all is said and done.
Absolutely, it's a distraction. I think you start filing things like this when there's nothing substantive. So you can't really find a defense or an alibi or a justification for the charges against you. Mm-hmm. So then you just start pointing fingers at, but look at what they're doing in their private life and, cast the first stone who has no sin.
So Trump's co-defendant is basically saying, listen, this is improper, it's unethical, what's going on behind the scenes and incentives behind why he's doing what he's doing and why she's doing what she's doing. And the fact that they busting each other down, yet nobody, let me be very, very clear, up to this point of me following this, and I think that she's going to be one of the bigger stories in 2024, no pun intended, nobody so far has not said, whether it's under oath or whether they saying it directly to the news crew on a church pulpit, not one person is saying, hey, listen, we did not do that. We did not sleep together. Not one person is saying that. They saying it's racism. They say that it's the system. They pointing the finger at us. It's his divorce. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I paid him the same rate as everybody else, even though I paid him an exorbitant amount more hours than everybody else that was attached to the case. Not one person has ever said and come out, even though they have a bunch of accusations. They'll address stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the case. They'll say, yeah, I think that they persecuted me based off of my race. Now, ain't nobody said nothing about your race. What they accused you of is A, B, and C. Did that happen? Then everybody is zip lip. Mum. Ain't nobody got nothing to say, right? Okay, we gonna get there.
This morning, a counterattack regarding allegations that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is involved in an improper romantic relationship with the special prosecutor she hired to handle the former President Trump RICO case.
Atlanta News First's Rebecca Schramm is live right now. Rebecca's at the Fulton County Courthouse. Rebecca, the district attorney, had some pretty harsh words for the special prosecutor's estranged wife.
That's right, Gervier and Brooks, good morning to you. And it happened in the form of a court filing in Cobb County, where the divorce case is. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis claims that her special prosecutor's estranged wife is using the legal process to try to harass and embarrass her. So let's take you back to catch you up. This all started when the attorney for Michael Roman, one of Trump's co-defendants in the Fulton County election meddling case, filed a motion to dismiss, claiming DA Willis was in a relationship with Nathan Wade, whom she hired as a special prosecutor in the case. Willis has not denied the relationship, saying she'll address the matter through the court system. In the meantime, Wade's estranged wife, Jocelyn, subpoenaed Fani Willis in her divorce case. Willis's attorney yesterday filed a motion asking a judge to throw out that subpoena, suggesting Jocelyn Wade is apparently conspiring with Michael Roman to obstruct and interfere with the Trump case. Willis spoke publicly about the accusation during a Martin Luther King.
Meanwhile, you always gonna get the church to make sure that they broadcast a live stream where they sitting there laying hands on you and praying for you. The church is always gonna pray for you. Absolutely.
Junior speech last weekend saying race is driving some of her detractors.
I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do, paid them all the same hourly rate. They only attacked one.
Now, the Fulton County judge has scheduled a hearing February 15th to address allegations about Willis's alleged relationship with Wade, and the judge wants a written response from DA Willis by February 2nd. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta.
The judge want a written response. Guess who's going to be waiting there on February 2nd to see if the judge actually puts out there some kind of clarification to help us understand what's going on. Your friend over here at Anton from AntonDaniels.com on the Millionaire Morning Show? Oh, yes, I will. I will fly down to Georgia just to find out what's going on down there.
Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis fighting back against allegations that she benefited from a relationship with her lead prosecutor in the Trump Georgia probe, Nathan Wade, a man who she hired. Now, Willis was subpoenaed to appear in court next week as part of Wade's divorce case, but in a new filing, Fani Willis's attorney claims that Wade's estranged wife, quote, conspired with interested parties in the criminal election interference case to use the civil discovery process to annoy, embarrass, and oppress Willis. Willis's attorney did not directly acknowledge the allegation.
Oppress her? Okay.
But said, quote, because the parties agree their marriage is irretrievably broken, there is no information that Willis could provide that would be relevant. These allegations against Willis and Wade came in a court filing earlier this month by someone named Mike Roman. He is a former Trump 2020 campaign official who was indicted over his role in the fake electors plot. Roman alleges that Wade is having an affair with Willis and used money he billed the DA's office for his work on the case to take her on fancy vacations.
So, again, my opinion of this is that I believe that this is going to be one, and I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could absolutely be wrong. But I believe that this is going to be one of the bigger things that show up 2024. And I don't think that this is going away the way that they think that it's going away anytime soon. And so Anton from AntonDaniels.com is going to keep an eye on things because I want you guys to be informed and I don't want you to be bamboozled on what's going on in our presidential election. We all want our vote to count, don't we? Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. Let me see if I can read a few more super chats and then we're going to move over with the show because we got a lot to cover today. AL says, you heard about China creating a new construction technology that can build a 10-story building in 28 hours? No, I don't know nothing about that. Send that to me in my email, AL. I ain't heard nothing about that. Nope. I know they workers can go pretty fast, but I don't know how good they work be. You know what I'm saying? Some of that junk seemed like a shoddy. Courtney Smith says, Fani. Somebody told me to pronounce it Fani. Fani Willis can't read good either. If you send it to me, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Send it to me in my email. Rod Jones says, don't get cursed out, AD. She pronounces it Fawny. Fawny. Okay, I got you. Self-Made Forever is in the building and said, did you see Trump's extensive response when an interviewer asked, are we close to World War III? I did not see it. I didn't. And I was streaming on the after hours last night and we was having a good time. Shout out to everybody that show up for after hours. Y'all send that to me in my email and we're going to get back to it, all right? Brittany said you be making stuff up in the chat, AL. Hey, I don't know. I have no idea. I just go and see and I do the research based off of what y'all send me. But let's move over. So Denver is messed up out in these streets, all right? So Denver is proposing that they cut at least 15% of their budget, of their city budget, in order to make sure that they support the migrant crisis. All right, so hold on. Let me back up for a minute because I want to make sure I do a little bit of research. Denver budget. No information is available for this page. Proposed budget. All right, let me pull this up really quickly. Before we get into watching the video, we might have to do a little bit of research. So Denver annual proposed budget. This came in September. So they I guess they come in to propose a completely new budget. Oh, they got a more recent one. Hold on, let me go back. 2024 revised budget. Come on, baby. Page left blank. Well, let me look at this. All right. Mayor budget message, explanation of document, budget highlights. That's on 47. All right, let's go down to 47. This is 47. That's 25. See if we can get down to 47 real quick. $68, $38, $43. Why does this keep doing that? All right, let's do this because this is 828 pages. See if we can find what we're looking for. All right, so here's the budget highlights. 2024 budget for all appropriated funds, less duplications for the city of Denver is $4 billion, an increase of almost 1% from the revised 2023 budget. The revised budget includes unspent appropriation from 2022, which means that they had a surplus, I'm assuming, back then. It is likely that the unspent appropriation will be available in 2024. There's no estimate on additional budget. There is a total budget of $3.1 billion for all operating funds, 1.8% increase over the 2023 revised budget. Grants, American Rescue Plan Act. Budget remains reserves in all funds within the city's financial policies, including $108 million required debt service payments on outstanding general obligation debt. City's main operating fund is proposed to increase to $1.74 billion, up 3.78%. From 2023. Then it goes into the general fund, all of the details or whatever. Okay, so Denver obviously is much different than New York and Chicago because Chicago and New York budget be in the billions, all right? Especially New York. New York's budget be in the hundreds of billions. So even though they won the 2023 championship from the Denver Nuggets, the budget is now under duress based off of the migrant crisis, okay?
Only on Fox, our one-on-one interview with Denver's Mayor Mike Johnston. He tells us that the migrant crisis could cost the city of Denver $180 million just this year.
That's a lot of money.
Now remember what the budget was. The budget was $4.06 billion. $4.06 billion, okay? Obviously, the total budget, the general for the all operating funds was $3.1 billion, okay? And they're allocating over $180 million just to the migrant crisis, which they anticipate to keep growing, okay?
And here's the thing, he's asking city departments to cut up to 15% from their budgets to cover that cost. Well, what does that mean for city services? Will people have to lose their jobs? Fox 31's Carly Moore is on it. She's live in Denver this morning. And we really don't have a ton of answers to those questions yet, do we?
We really don't, Kirk. Ashley, good morning. But we do know that because of this migrant crisis, city services are going to have to squeeze. The mayor calling it a dilemma, just the details kind of few and far between at this point. But here's what you need to know this morning. So just a few hours after the mayor announced this to city council, the mayor explained the details to our Jeremy Hubbard on a tour of cleaned up encampment sites. He's looking to cut $180 million, that's about 15% of the city budget, to deal with the migrant crisis. For perspective, $180 million. That's more than the entire budget for the Department of Parks and Recreation, more than the entire budget for the city's housing and homeless efforts all combined. The city has already paid $38 million to respond to this crisis. And if things don't change, the bill in 2024 will be even bigger.
As a department head, your goal is always how to find the things you can cut that don't directly impact services as much as possible. We don't want to close down rec centers or stop picking up trash or paving the streets or take officers off the streets. And so we got to prioritize in that. But so what they'll do now is take a hard look at their budgets and see what their options are, and we'll come back and look at them and see what we could do without trying to really directly impact the city as much as possible.
So, isn't it funny? And I guess I'm gonna throw black people a bone right now. And I'm only throwing y'all a bone because I know that y'all like to run in the Victim Olympics, and we can use this as an example so we can have a bigger conversation. Isn't it funny how they're able to find $180 million for the things that's convenient to them at the time? Now, they're providing us no explanation as to why they became a sanctuary city in the first place, why it was meaningful for them to make this type of investment into these migrants in the first place. And again, when you think about budgets, think about it from the perspective of moving numbers around, right? It's like accounting. It's a trick. It's a game. Make it much more simple, because this is the Millionaire Morning Show, and I like to help y'all to understand how the game works from a C student's perspective. Think of something that you really wanted to do, right? Let's say you wanted to go shopping. Ladies, I know it's a lot of ladies. Shout out to the churches. Shout out to the daycares. Let's say you wanted to go shopping, right? And you say, well, I really, really wanted this thing, right? And I really wanted to get this stuff from Bed Bath & Beyond. And then I also wanted to go and get this stuff from Bath & Body Works. Then I also wanted to redo the stuff that was in the cabinet. So I'm going to take $1,000 of the money that we was using, and I'm going to just go shop and skip it. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to deal with it later, right? And then as you drive home, this is how budgets work within municipalities, in regular life, in corporate America, the whole thing, right? Because I'm answering a question to you guys specifically about how they're able to find the money. And we got to relate it back to our own lives in order to really understand how they do it within politics, right? And so you go and you spend $1,000 and you get all of the things that you've been wanting to get for a long time, and throw a little bit more in there for yourself. So you're going to hide a couple things inside of them bags. You're going to collapse one bag, put one under. I know what y'all be doing. You might leave something in your trunk until he go to work, and then you're going to try to remember to go and get it back out of your trunk when he go to. I know what you do. I know the games that women play. I've been coaching people for a long time, all right? So the $1,000, because nobody is going to do a real audit. So you spent $1,000, right? And this is how you find the money. You justify it by saying, well, I would have did this anyway, so we just going to go ahead and make the adjustment. It's like a gambler. A gambler will go out and they will lose their money. Let's say they lose their rent money or something, right? Or they lose a little bit of money, or they lose whatever it is that they brought. And they say, well, I just would have went and spent it on cigarettes anyway, or I would have just went out and just had fun and blew it out in the streets anyway, so it's just a wash. You start to make it make sense in your mind in order to justify the bad behavior that you just exhibited and the irresponsibility that came along with it. So they always had the ability to go and find the things that they needed in order to fund the things that they wanted to fund, but they couldn't justify it until they were forced to. It's similar to you, right? If you really wanted to, your budget is not truly a budget that's reflective of a person that's really operating on their needs. It's reflective of a person that's operating what they want, but they're justifying their needs. So you want to live in a bigger house. You want to drive a bigger car. You want to go out to eat all the time. But you say, well, we need money for food. No, you don't need money to do what you want to do for food, but you're doing creative accounting. So you'll take some money, and really that's leisure money. Going out to eat is a luxury. It's not a need. Eating is a need, but then you move the food category over into, you move the going out to eat category over into the food category so that you can justify doing what you want to do. Now, that's not a need, but that's what we in the industry call creative accounting. It's called creative accounting. So then when y'all get a coaching call and I'm going over your budget, and then I ask you to break it down for me a little bit more to help me. See, you can't finesse me. You can't finesse me. Just because you move the out to eat money into the food budget don't mean that I'm going to let that stay there, because that is called creative accounting. You finessing yourself. You're not even finessing me. You finessing yourself. So then when people then go back and they say, well, how can they justify cutting the budget and spending $180 million on this thing, whatever? They already had it. They're just now doing creative accounting in order to justify their bad actions so that they can say, well, we balanced the budget. No, you didn't. You messed up the money because you should have never had a crisis on your hand in the first place, and we wouldn't be sitting here operating at a deficit instead of operating at a surplus. So then when your husband comes to you or your wife come to you and they say, listen, we make over $100,000 a year. Why are we living paycheck to paycheck? It's called creative accounting. Did I break it down to you from a C student's perspective? Got you. Let's continue.
Now, the influx of migrants continues to grow. More than 4,800 migrants are being temporarily housed by the city right now. More than 37,000 have been transported here in the last year. Now, the mayor says without the help of neighboring cities, those cuts might even have to be even more severe. He adds that 7 buses of migrants arrived just this weekend. Really, frankly, the city's running out of room. So really, they're looking into other options. Instead of housing these people, they're looking to possibly just getting them a ticket out of town. Live in Denver.
Let's not skip over that last part. Let's not skip over that last part. I'm going to play that for y'all one more time because I don't want y'all to be bamboozled. I want y'all to be aware of what's going on out in these streets. Listen to what they said. They slipped that last part in. Mike Johnson slipped that last part in. Listen, y'all.
Instead of the city's running out of room. So really, they're looking into other options. Instead of housing these people, they're looking to possibly just getting them a ticket out of town.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that they're looking to do the exact same thing that they're complaining about with Greg Abbott? Oh, no. Yeah. They said, listen, we're now going to allocate the budget. And it makes sense if you really think about it. The best way for it to make sense is to say that we're not a sanctuary city at all. But see, the thing that we don't know here on the ground floor as residents and citizens that actually pay the money into the coffers that they use in order to do all of this creative accounting in the first place, we don't know what the real agenda is. I mean, we can try to figure it out. We can use our context clues, but we can't substantiate it with hard evidence. So we basically just shooting in the dark. We can say we doing it so that they can continue to stay in power. We can say they doing it to fit into a bigger agenda. They left the borders open in order to try to negotiate for more money as far as the war with over in Taiwan with China, Ukraine, Israel. They made some promises they can't keep. Lobbyists and some people that's going to benefit as a result of it. We can make a whole lot of claims, but we can't necessarily pinpoint it and say definitively because we don't have any evidence, right? And so that's the real way to solve for it is saying, listen, we not a sanctuary city no more, and you can't keep sending people over to us because we actually support the idea of closing the borders. But instead, they're going to now say, well, we can actually save more money because if we've earmarked $180 million in order to continue to support the migrant crisis, it would be much cheaper for us to just buy you a ticket because then we ain't got to house you. We ain't got to pay for services. We don't have to educate you. We don't have to give you health care coverage. We ain't got to deal with all of this other stuff that come along with it. It's cheaper to get rid of you than it is to continue to house you. That's when you say it's not cheaper to keep her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, we getting somewhere. This is why it's called the Millionaire Morning Show, but from a C student's perspective.
Denver Mayor Mike Johnson is asking every city department to prepare to cut their budgets, as the city thinks it might spend 10 to 15% of its general fund this year helping migrants.
We did sit down with agency heads yesterday and ask them to start preparing to evaluate ways in which they can absorb $180 million of cuts in the 2024 budget.
The mayor says new arrivals are not slowing down. 7 more buses arrived from the border this week. The city set up 9 shelter sites for migrants, and Johnson says they're all full.
Means that we have now filled all of the space that we have for sheltering in the city and county. We have filled every single hotel site that we have and the 2 congregate sites that we added. And so we do not have space to add more folks that arrive, nor do we have staff to support them, nor do we have resources to support them.
So the city's trying to move migrants out of those congregate shelters, connecting them with housing applications, even offering to pay up to 3 months' rent for people without jobs. The mayor is now saying that unless something changes, Denver may turn to offering all newly arriving migrants paid transportation to other cities. That's a process that's drawn anger from places like Chicago and New York.
Now, you know why it's drawing anger from places like Chicago and New York? It's because they all stood in solidarity, baby. Yes, they did. It was Mike Johnson, Karen Bass. It was Eric Adams, Brandon Johnson, Atlanta mayor. All of them was over there in Washington, D.C., signing that paperwork, standing in solidarity. And they said, listen, we're going to put some pressure on Biden in order to give us this money. We're going to put some pressure on Cam to give us this money. Now, Mike Johnson, I got to give him some credit. He said, listen, I F with y'all. I like you, Brandon. We both got similar last names. Yo, Eric, I don't really care for how you moving, but you reading at a 3rd grade reading level, but we going to get there for you. I'm a little smarter than y'all. He said, listen, we might have to send them to some other cities. And then Chicago and New York said, don't send them over here. Oh, dog, I know you ain't trading on this. Mike said, listen, every man for themselves. Another edition of the white man turning against you. Listen. Next thing you know, you're going to see Brandon Johnson and Eric Adams saying that it's the white man that turned against me. Yeah. Then it's going to be white on black crime. It's going to be Greg Abbott and Mike Johnson against Brandon Johnson and Eric Adams. Oh, my God. What a matchup. That's going to be bigger than any matchup that you guys can think of. Let me read some of these super chats. I love to see the fallout amongst people that's not doing what they're supposed to do. And then we're going to continue to rock out. Oh, shout out to the kosher clinician. Says, don't get no fleas from fleece. It's been a minute. What up to the kosher clinician? I appreciate you, big dog. Shout out to kosher, my guy. Chris Moore says, you had Mr. 1950 on edge, AD. You got mad squabbles. It's all in love, baby. It's all in love. Shout out to Mr. 1950. AL says, the welcoming city of Detroit. Never forget. Nope. We winning. We got the Michigan National Football Championship, College Football Championship. The Detroit Lions is hitting on all cylinders. Downtown Detroit got several different multi-unit buildings and skyscrapers running up. People are, man, listen, we love what's happening in the city. We are not a sanctuary city. Let me, as the co-chair of the mayor of Detroit, say that Detroit City, and I declare this today on January 19, 2024, Detroit City is not a migrant city, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and let that fly over there on that side of the building. Christopher Chapman says, AD, can you look at that chart and tell us how many years a migrant will spend on buses, planes, trains, and automobiles over their lifetime? Don't even matter, because once they get here, baby, they got free schooling, free health care, free everything. Oh, my God. What we... Bow. Let's all bow our heads to the chasers. Let's all bow our heads to the chasers. Says a little creative accounting to show you some love and tell you Big Daddy Fane said, what up, though? Love you, Ton. Oh, yeah, 30,000. Let's get a double. $30,000 pay increase. Shout out to the chasers. See, we don't discriminate over here. We believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion when it comes to running up that bag. Don't we, Brittany? Listen, Brittany made so much money with me. I'm not even going to tell on Brittany. Brittany made so much money with me. Brittany has, because see, this 30,000 that she talking about right now, that ain't even including the other. I ain't even going to say nothing. Shout out to the chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And let me also say this. I guess that cheesecake date paid off for us, didn't it, Britt? See, me, Brittany, and Rita, you know what we did when we landed? Me, Brittany, and Rita, just us three, we went to the Cheesecake Factory. Like, can I get a round of applause for the Cheesecake Factory? Yeah. What up, Britt? What up, Britt? Congratulations to you and all of the chasers. But we're not done with the migrant crisis. Let's continue. Chicago tired, y'all. It's a lot going on. I know that Denver said we got to get ourselves out of this situation, but Chicago is tired, and New York. Chicago and New York, it was a migrant stabbing over in New York. Chicago, they delegates over there are saying, hey, listen, we thinking about withdrawing from becoming a migrant city, and we just going to leave New York by itself. Check it out.
A police helicopter overhead after a fight outside the migrant shelter on Randall's Island. Police say around 3:30 Thursday afternoon, a 24-year-old man was stabbed in the neck and rushed to Harlem Hospital. Police say 18 people, including the suspected stabber, were taken into custody. You can see in this video several men and a
Can we all give a round of applause for the migrants that's out here doing crime and getting into gang wars inside of the migrant shelter? I just want to make sure that I acknowledge them. Oh, bring her here. Bring me the baby. She can walk? Come, my child. Let me see her. I ain't seen her in so long. No, bring me the baby. Bring me baby. Oh, you want her? Okay. Yeah, let me see her. Oh, she don't want to see you, Jazz. Aaron, did you make her spoiled?
No, she teething.
Oh, she teething. Aww. Okay, here, just bring her. Come here, bring her here. Let me see you. Why are you crying? Why are you crying, little girl? Talk to the people. Look at yourself. Look at yourself on the screen. Look at yourself. Look. Look at that. Look at you. Look at you right here. Look at you right here. Look, right here. Look at you right here.
Come on, girl. Okay, shut up.
Hey, Mom, come on. Hey, Gray.
Wait. My lips. Is my lips right?
You fine.
Is my lips moisturized? Hey, y'all. Where am I looking? What am I looking at?
Right there.
Oh, okay. Hey, y'all. Is my lips right?
All right. Can we continue with the migrant stabbing?
A woman being taken away in handcuffs. It's the second stabbing at this facility in less than 2 weeks. On January 6th, a 24-year-old man was stabbed to death on the food line inside the shelter. Most migrants returning to the shelter Thursday night hadn't heard of this latest stabbing. Mamadou Diallo coming back from an English class. Somebody was stabbed.
No.
Today, yes.
Oh, today?
Yes.
The from Africa?
Police have not released any personal.
Wait a minute. This dude can't even speak English. He just got back from an English class. Y'all stop fawning over my mama. My mama is like 70 years old. That's my mother. She's gorgeous, and she's like 70 years old. Leave my mama alone. Y'all leave my mama alone.
Details about the migrant who was stabbed. After last week's deadly stabbing, the mayor had pledged to step up security at the shelters.
The team was already looking at, bringing metal detectors to the shelters, and that is a part of our goal, public safety. We're going to utilize visual technology. We're going to put cameras in many of these sites and locations.
And I did check with the mayor's office. I'm told that right now there are no metal detectors here at this shelter, but there are cameras, and they are in the process of installing more cameras. This is also one of the shelters that does not have a curfew, although, again, this stabbing happened in the afternoon. And again, what we've learned just a few minutes ago from a source is that the victim in this case is a security guard here at the shelter.
So, stabbings, fights, arrests, all of this is happening at the migrant shelter. All of this is happening at the migrant shelter. Stabbings, fights, arrests, all while it's snowing. They getting into scraps, they beefing with each other. And now it's happening on American soil, right in the heart of the city at New York. Right in the heart of the city in New York. And they ain't even tripping about it. If you seen the way that they was getting arrested, they was just walking to the truck without even having no problem. They was slow motion.
The migrant shelter on Randall's Island. Police say around 3:30 Thursday afternoon, a 24-year-old man was stabbed in the neck and rushed to Harlem Hospital. Including the suspected stabber, were taken into custody. You can see in this video several men and a woman being taken away in handcuffs. It's the second stabbing at this facility in less.
Look, he got his little Dora the Explorer backpack. He having a good time. Got the Dora the Explorer backpack and having a good time. And now they just getting arrested. What do you charge them with? What do you want to fingerprint them? Do you deport them? Do you send them back to where they came from? Foolishness. Meanwhile, over in Chicago,
Illinois lawmakers clash over the state's ever-changing migrant situation.
At the same time, Chicago officials say they are pausing efforts to open additional shelters. Casey Cron is live in Studio 32 with the latest. Casey.
Tia and Dawn, to stay within the new arrivals budget, the mayor's office says it is focusing on out-migration, creating space in the city's 28 shelters that already exist, and prioritizing families and migrants with disabilities. As the city shifts its focus to resettlement, officials are turning to the state to establish more shelters. Meanwhile, some Republican lawmakers are sharing what they saw during a recent visit to the border.
In 1 week last summer, 57 bodies were found on this farm.
So now the state lawmakers are now starting to pay attention what's happening to the border. Now they want to take a trip over to the border. See, you flood them with enough of what it is that they say that they support, and then you make them come over into. This reminds me of the drug crisis. It reminded me of the drug crisis. Real talk. You know why? Because nobody cared about what was happening when they was flooding communities with drugs as long as it stayed centralized in one specific area. See, what they didn't anticipate was the fact that they was going to now flood all of the communities with drugs. And so what happens to me happens to you. What affects me affects you. And so now the drug crisis is now going to be an opioid crisis. And it's going to be a fentanyl crisis. And it's going to be a methamphetamine crisis. And then it's going to spread from the streets of Detroit and Philadelphia and New York and all of the disenfranchised, as they like to call them, communities. And now it's going to be on your doorstep. And now they're going to call for making sure that we attack Big Pharma and where is the drugs coming from and make sure that you get that up out of there and we need to close off our borders. No, we should have all been in solidarity and seeing things in the same way from the very beginning. But now the Illinois governors and the state representatives want to go over there to the border and they say, you know what? It's bad down there. It's been bad down there. It ain't nothing changed. Texas has been dealing with this for a long time now. They've been on the front lines having to allocate a lot of money over into the budget to fight for what's going on as far as these migrants coming over here illegally, but we want to give them asylum, even though it doesn't apply to that specific one. And we handed off the most secure border, even though, and this is what the guy yesterday said that worked for all 6 administrations before Biden. And he said, listen, Trump administration handed Biden the most secure border that we've ever had in history, even though they fought him at every twist and turn on funding and in building more secure walls to make sure that it would be more difficult and to add more border agents and the technology needed And now we allocate monies from cities, and they begging Biden from the federal government because you said and you stood back on the thing that you turned against when you said it when you was running for the 2008 vice presidential campaign, that you said that we needed to secure our borders. And then when Trump was in office, you said we're not going to build another piece of border wall. So now y'all want to get involved. Okay.
The garbage, the clothes, the human biological matter, and other debris piled and scattered all over the border area.
The state reps who visited make up the Illinois Freedom Caucus.
It was an experience that is just gut-wrenching. These folks are being told that they're coming to a country that's going to take care of them when they get here. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
The Illinois GOP now responding to information that came to light in a recent report by WTTW. It alleges that city officials were made aware of unsanitary conditions at a Pilsen migrant shelter in the fall, the same shelter where a 5-year-old boy was living before he died in December. Republican lawmakers now calling for the city and state to reverse sanctuary status.
Oh! Wait. That's 2 for 2. That's 2 for 2. The public and the state lawmaker. Let me replay that again. I want to make sure that we all got this together. I want to make sure that we all doing this.
5-year-old boy was living before he died in December. Republican lawmakers now calling for the city and state to reverse sanctuary status.
Don't nobody want to be a sanctuary city no more. Don't nobody want no more buses. They don't want no more planes, trains, and automobiles all of a sudden. Now everybody is trying to figure out, hey, listen, I don't know if this is the best course of action. Texas has been dealing with this for the longest period of time in history. Now all of a sudden, Mike Johnson over there in Denver want to buy them a ticket over there to Chicago. Chicago is saying, hey, wait a minute, hold on. We don't really want sanctuary status no more. We did our fair share. Maybe we just going to leave New York by itself. And then Eric Adams is out there on the island because he already got charges against them, and the federal investigators is all up his Now everybody want to start figuring it out and saying, you know what? Maybe it's not a smart idea to leave our borders open.
It is unsustainable. It will drive the state into bankruptcy, and it will create a chaos that we'll never be able to recover from.
What did I say was happening? What did I say was happening? I said, listen, Chicago, and it's not, see, the thing about Detroit, when we filed for bankruptcy during the 2008 recession, we filed for bankruptcy based off of years and years and years of not only not changing what industries we supported that we now support today, but not only changing the industries that we supported to not be overly reliant on the automotive industry that was being upended because the UAW at that particular time was not going through and doing the thing that they were supposed to do in order to adjust. And the companies themselves was actually running themselves into the ground. And you've seen everything that was happening with the recession. But here's the biggest thing. When Detroit, which was at the time the largest major city to file for bankruptcy, filed for bankruptcy, it affected maybe some of the cities around it, but no other city was really affected to the point to where it actually drove the state into bankruptcy. What you see happening in Chicago and over there in Colorado and Denver and Illinois is that New York is big enough to still be able to sustain itself because New York City has over 8.3 million people. Okay, so they gonna be all right. They have a budget in the hundreds of billions. They gonna figure it out. Even if they let the rats eat their own, they gonna figure that junk out. It'll be a cold day in hell before New York ever filed for bankruptcy. But see, Chicago is just big enough to kick their butts, but it's not big enough to be able to survive like New York for an extended period of time, right? And so what you see Republican lawmakers saying to you right now is the same thing that I predicted to you that was going to happen unless they changed or pivoted and reverse course from the beginning. And you have a mayor named Brandon Johnson that is so hell-bent on being an idiot and trying to do what he feels like is standing up to the Republicans and all of this, but he ain't big enough. You ain't built enough to hot box with Greg Abbott down there. You ain't built to hot box with them boys down there in Texas. And what he's going to do, yet he's not going to take any responsibility for it, is he's going to drive his city and then ultimately his state into bankruptcy to where you cannot really recover from it. And it is going to be a long day in Chicago for the people that is living there. And you just heard it first. I told y'all a long time ago. I told y'all yesterday, as a matter of fact. I think I told y'all the day before yesterday too. I said, listen, we've seen this play happen before in a different way. This is an unsustainable thing that you're doing. You can't keep having a budget. You can't keep accepting migrants. You can't keep increasing costs while thinking that you're just going to pass those costs over into residents who are already having trouble paying a mortgage, making sure Chicago's property taxes is already some of the highest in the country. It's already out of control. And you're just going to continue to raise the property taxes. You're going to continue to tax the people. You're going to continue to take money away from what it is that they're supposed to be doing and allocating for the people. You already throwing money into all of these social services. You keep trying to talk about you're going to open up mental health clinics. You can't throw money at a problem without fundamentally fixing the issue. You're doing the same thing the doctor's doing. You putting a Band-Aid over a symptom instead of solving for the problem. And so it's going to be a long journey down into the alcohol river for the people over there in Chicago. And then ultimately, because as Chicago go, as the rest of Illinois go, because it is the largest, most productive city and the most financially solvent city inside of the state of Illinois because they generate all of the revenue, right? When you think of Illinois, you think of Chicago. You don't think of Peoria. You don't think of all of those places, right? You don't think of Dolton and Thornton Township. You think of Chicago, Miracle Mile. 30% vacancy rate on the Miracle Mile, right? And so it is going to be a very, 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 very difficult journey as you guys continue to devolve into bankruptcy and then find yourself while you sitting there advocate. Y'all are California of the Midwest, except for y'all ain't got the revenue that California got. That's it. I mean, that's a fact. This ain't me telling you what it is that I think. This is me telling you a fact. The numbers, the math is the math. You can try to do your creative accounting all you want, but eventually you're going to have to face and pay the piper. Eventually, that payment is going to be due. Eventually, the repo man is going to be there. Eventually, they're going to be able to call in that debt and they're going to say the mafia is here to collect. Do you got my money or not? Or it's going to be some flower bringing. And then guess what's going to happen to the worst communities that y'all thought that y'all was solving for? They're going to devolve even more into chaos. And then we going to buy it at a fire sale. And we going to take over all of y'all land. And then we going to charge y'all to live there and never sell your land back to you. And that's how you gentrify an area, ladies and gentlemen. We going to run, listen, Chicago is mine. We gonna run Chicagoans out of Chicago by letting y'all legislators migrant crisis y'all up, and then we gonna buy up all of your land for cheap because you can't afford it, and then we gonna make sure that you pay us to live in a space that you can't afford to move away from, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going to be called the new gentrification of Chicago. That's what we gonna do to y'all. We gonna devalue y'all land by making it too expensive for you to live there and allocate all of your resources over the things that don't benefit you, and then we gonna make you pay to live there. How about that? How about that? I'll be waiting for you in 8 years. When the prices get low enough and the gnashing of teeth get as bad as it get, and y'all eating on oodles and noodles, and you keep on eating spam every day, I'm going to come and buy up your land. Ooh, I see you, baby girl. Coming out here with them shorts on. Oh, don't start dancing. We're not having it. Yeah, we're going to come and get up all of y'all land. All right, let me go ahead and read a couple of super chats because I want to get to Michelle Obama really quickly. All right. Will the CNA says last night's top 10 album was live, but no UGK Riding Dirty is a classic. Swab up? No, never. UGK will never be on the same level as Mobb Deep. I love Bun B. I love Pimp C. I love Bun B. I love Pimp C. I want to go and visit the Trill Burgers. But let me just tell you something. UGK will never in a million years ever be on the same level as a Mobb Deep. The Infamous, Riding Dirty is not in the same category as the Infamous. They don't play Riding Dirty instrumentals for people to continue to, because you got to remember, Mobb Deep actually produced their own records and they rapped on them. Queensbridge didn't play back then, baby. And you got to also remember that they not playing UGK instrumentals for people to freestyle over. They play all of the beats from the Infamous in order for them to. I'm just telling you. Yeah, we're going to have that conversation tonight. Shout out to Will, the CNA. I appreciate you, big dog. Yeah. Shout out to an AL says, congrats, Brittany. Let me hold something. Congrats to Brittany. Let me give her a shout out to Brittany. All right, let's go over here and get over to Michelle Obama. Let's go over to here and get to Michelle Obama. Yeah. See, y'all don't want to argue with me about rap because we can get there, but we gonna do that on After Hours tonight. Maybe. So they're saying that Michelle Obama is scared to death, is absolutely terrified is the word that they're describing, that Trump is going to win an election. They say that Michelle Obama is terrified, absolutely terrified that Trump is going to win the election. Now people are trying to predict and say that Michelle Obama possibly is going to be throwing her hat into the ring in later elections and could possibly also be throwing her endorsement behind the Biden administration, or maybe not, because she see disaster on the horizon. And I want to ask this question, right? Because Fox News is the ones that started having this conversation that I've seen pop up on my timeline. And I want to ask this question. It's not whether or not you guys would actually vote for Michelle Obama. The question you need to ask yourself is outside of you. Do you think that people would vote for Michelle Obama? I think that the people absolutely will vote for Michelle Obama. But let's take a look.
You know, it's interesting because the Obamas are still a very powerful voice, a very powerful presence in the Democratic Party. I think in 2020 it was interesting that it took them a long time to endorse Joe Biden. And you have to wonder what that relationship is right now.
Well, look, I think you have to remember that Barack Obama behind closed doors reminded people that Joe Biden had the capacity to screw up pretty much anything, including 2020. I think if you put this in the broader context of David Axelrod almost on a daily basis calling Joe Biden everything but a child of God, it might make sense that the architect of the Obama revolution might be trying to lay the groundwork for somebody like Michelle Obama to get in. And if you think that 2020 was, in fact, this anomaly because of COVID, where they were able to stitch that Obama coalition back together without an Obama on the ticket. You look at these numbers with African-American support plummeting. You look at the migrant crisis. There could be this groundswell for them to say, we have to actually find an Obama that can be president, and the only one left right now is Michelle.
Well, and
Social Sis, I'm curious. Why would you vote for Michelle Obama? I'm just curious. I'm actually thankful. I need to have a debate night or something like that because I need to understand why people would do it. Social Sis, I'm curious. Why would you vote for Michelle Obama? I just want to know. I'm trying to understand the psyche behind people that vote the way that they do. You sure will? Why? Tell me why, Social Sis. I need to understand why. Is it because you like their book? Is it because you like her marriage? Is it because you like her husband? Is it because it's woman empowerment? Did she do a speech? Tell me why you would vote for her. I'm curious, Social Sis. Why would you vote for her?
Obviously, Kamala Harris isn't, gonna make it. She's performed worse than Joe Biden has, and there was a lot of excitement about her. First woman vice president, first woman of color, and she's been, a disappointment, I gotta say. But going back to this issue of, Joe Biden, I don't think that we're going to see a Michelle Obama on the ticket in 24. I think Joe Biden is going to be on that ballot, even if he's in a wheelchair and can barely speak. They will make sure that he's out there, Rebecca. The question is, can he win? And his approval ratings, as we're showing you right now, 33% approve, 58% disapprove of his job performance. These numbers are abysmal going into someone who's looking for a second term.
And when
They say that this is some of the lowest approval ratings ever from a person that is an incumbent seeking to hold on to office long term. This is the lowest approval rating. Look, I don't even think that it's going to be close, honestly. Unless it's some kind of finesse that happened, I don't even think that it's going to be close as far as between Biden and Trump. I genuinely don't even think it's going to be close. I don't even think people is willing to acknowledge that they voted for Biden at this point.
you have people like Charlemagne the God saying things in common parlance, relating to how the border actually impacts the everyday American, and it's taking what we have, our resources, away from us, it's only going to hurt Joe Biden even more, unless he pivots on the border, which obviously with this House and Senate, continuing resolution, that's not happening. They're not. They're standing strong on not enforcing border policy.
Yeah.
And so I just see that this is going to keep going badly for him.
Well, obviously, we saw in Iowa, number 1 issue to those voters was immigration.
Exactly.
And the economy was second, which is a big surprise.
Exactly.
All right.
Hey, Ryan, I'm curious, Ryan. Why don't you want Trump back in office? I'm curious. Tell me, what is it that you didn't like about what he did? Took a hard stance against China. No new wars, brought a lot of our troops home. Renegotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement. Made sure that he levied tariffs against China. They did all of this fighting to make sure that you guys are getting lower taxes. We had the best jobs economy all the way up until the point to where he lost his presidency. Inflation wasn't as high as it is, and it was largely in check. I'm just curious, why is it that you wouldn't vote for him? What is it that you get out of it? And again, I'm just open to it. Why is it that you would not vote for him? What is it that you did not like about what it is that he did? Because I can stand on what I'm standing on as far as why I like him. Why wouldn't you vote for him? Just curious.
Speculation growing, meantime, that Michelle Obama could jump into the 2024 race. An op-ed in the New York Post says the following. The plans are to grab Michelle for the Democratic presidency choice. Making the music is Barack, the orchestra leader. The Obamas are now nudging to force Slow-Mo Joe to go. Drop out. It's like, who else is there? Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor and columnist for The Messenger. Joe joins me live on set. Joe, Cindy Adams is the gossip columnist who wrote this very famous institution here in New York, but she is often in the know. Thoughts on this theory?
93-year-old Cindy Adams. I read her when I was growing up. It's great to see that she's still active. This is a scenario, Todd, that we're hearing more and more about. Democratic National Convention, July, Chicago, the Obamas' hometown. Joe Biden, for whatever reason, says he can't run for re-election anymore and drops out. And then superdelegates and delegates, they decide that Michelle Obama will be the nominee because they look at polling from YouGov, for example. She is currently, right now in 2024, the most popular woman in the world.
They say that Michelle Obama is one of the most popular women in the world. You ain't got to whisper it. You can say it out loud.
I'm just saying she should be president. My personal opinion, as much as I love being a woman and I love women to, have their whatever they want, like, I just don't think a woman is fit to rule the presidency. We are very emotional creatures. Michelle Obama, I have read her books, and she has an attitude, and she doesn't seem to be fit to be a president to me. She has a woman's attitude, you know what I'm saying? It's like, everybody don't need to be the top just because you feel you're popular and your husband, you think y'all got it on lock, because he didn't have it on lock either, and I love him. As a person, I think he's really cool, but he wasn't jamming as a president like that.
Yep, I agree 100%. I am not a fan no, I'm not at all. And she seemed like she got an attitude. She seemed like she ruled with an iron fist.
Media will swoon over this. No one will care about the fact that, hey, the party that says they wanted to save democracy just took the right for voters to decide who their nominee is going to be and allowing superdelegates and delegates to decide this instead. But I say this fails because if she is the nominee, what is Michelle Obama's resume exactly? She was a lawyer decades ago. She's now a producer for Netflix. What is her position on spending and taxes and crime and the border? Remember Barack Obama, what was he called? The deporter in chief. So will she adopt that policy again? Because I'm pretty sure Democrats won't like that very much. And with the world on fire, China, Iran, Ukraine, what are her positions there? In other words, all foam, no beer, all sizzle, no steak. I'm not sure Michelle Obama candidacy can even save this party from the current conditions on the ground right now.
But, Joe, she toes the party line, which, as we heard from Kamala the other day, is one word: scared. Listen.
Oh, boy.
What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter.
I never seen that interview. What is that on? What was that, Jay Shetty? On Purpose with Jay Shetty? I'm going to have to pull that up. We might have to review that. He a life coach? Is he older?
No, he's probably in his late 30s, early 40s maybe. He's a real popular life coach.
Jay Shetty?
He's like an Indian guy, I think. He used to be a monk. He's got a real popular podcast. And
Oh, he got them green eyes. Oh, okay. Yeah, he got them green eyes with that tattoo on his neck. All right. 8 Rules of Love. He wrote the love rules. He an author. Is this going to be the next love languages book? Oh, he looked like a plant to me. He do. All right. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, that's the question that I want to pose to people and that I want to have a conversation about at some point is, and again, maybe it could be a conversation that happens on after hours. You never know what we're going to talk about overnight. But it's not about whether or not you would vote for. It's more or less about, do you think that the general public or women in general or white women or white men will vote for? I think that she would get more votes than Biden. I wouldn't vote for her. I don't even think women should. No. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan at all. Let me read a couple of super chats and then we're going to move over into the next thing because I want to get over in the Country Wayne, the money aspects of what he was talking about. Chris J says over 2,000 people, over 2,100 people watching, but the likes is low. Y'all so disrespectful. Let me throw this up there. So disrespectful. Anywho, good morning, people. Salute to the Chasers. UGK will never what? No, they could never be in the same category as ever. I appreciate the super chat, but they can never be in the same category as Mobb Deep. Self-Made Forever says if Michelle becomes president, the Simpsons will have predicted the future again. I think she will. I think that she is going to run for president of the United States, not in this term, but I think that she's going to run in the next. Because there is no way that they would ever trade against Joe Biden because he was the vice president of Obama. So if he's running for president in this term, I don't see her ever running for president for this term. But I think that she's going to try to be president in 2028. 2028 election, don't worry, we still going to be hopefully, God willing, rocking out with the Millionaire Morning Show. And we probably going to have 20,000, 30,000 people watching this on the live stream. And y'all going to still be my people. And we going to still be running it up with the Chasers. But 2028, you mark my words, I believe that she's going to run for president of the United States of America. They predicted a female will become president and announce America is broke. America been broke. America been broke. So I think eventually she will. Yep, absolutely, 100%. All right, let me go ahead and get to this last portion of the show. I want to talk about Country Wayne. So Country Wayne recently went on Club Shay Shay, and we actually reviewed a little bit of it yesterday, but we was on after hours, we were reviewing what he was disputing that Jess Hilarious had said to him. And Country Wayne recently appeared on Club Shay Shay, and he was talking about the money aspect of it. Now, one of the things that y'all also want to consider or remember is that Faison Love was saying about how Country Wayne wasn't making no real money on the internet. Let me go ahead and add this into there.
How much money do you think you made through social media?
Through social media, probably a dub. Probably about just social media.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 20 million last 3 years. That's when
Let's hold off for 1 second and let's really put that in perspective. 20 M's, and he probably being conservative. 20 million. I'm so glad that you said that, Roger Chavez. Because I was talking about this last night. Roger Chavez says Country Wayne is a hustler, but he is not funny. He Kevin Hart 2.0. Isn't it ironic that Kevin Hart make more money than any other comedian and Country Wayne make more money than any other comedian content creator? Because you think that they not funny, you will overlook them. But see, one of the reasons why Country Wayne and Kevin Hart are my favorite content creators and comedians is because they not focused on what the hood think alone. They focusing on figuring out how they can get to the money. Listen, some of your favorite comedians, some of the people that you think was the funniest in the movies, and some of the people that died in yesteryear, they died broke. And when I say broke, I mean broke. Broke.
when I really started monetizing. Mm-hmm.
Telling jokes, huh? And skits.
It's some skits, man, the storylines. I was telling jokes at first.
Need a partner?
Yeah, look like you doing fine. I tell you what, boy, hey, you know about this money.
Yeah.
You know, the social media game, it's the in-stream ads and stuff, but they didn't have that at first. So how I was monetizing at first is getting popular, you go on tour.
Right.
But I was like, that ain't monetization.
Right.
Because if I gotta do this, that's work. So I'm like, no, how can I learn? Because what I did, I was hearing about residuals and all that, and what I did in math, the whole thing about math is to simplify something. That's what math is. Mm-hmm. You take 50 over 100 and break it all the way down to 1 over 2. So what I did, I took the TV format, people talking about residual in TV shows, and I minimized, you know what I'm saying? I took I minimized it to a point of, I got my version of that. Okay. And now I'm able to make residuals. I'm making money right now while I'm sitting. And people was laughing at me at first. When I first started doing those skits, people like, oh, them little skits, And I went to before I started, I went to every social media who was big at the time and sat down with them. And look, man, we gotta do this social media thing. We come together, we can share storylines, share content. They was all like, nah, they don't seem like, all right, you wanna keep going out here tap dancing on tour? All right, so that social media thing, when I figured out that niche, man, I was on to it. And
listen, people always gonna doubt you. They always gonna say, no, heck no, whatever. Man, I listen to everybody. If anybody know me, they be like, yo, Anton, can we collab? Can we do something? I'll be like, yup, send it to my email. Yup. Oh, you don't want to know how many subscribers I got? Nope, I don't even care. I just want to kick it. I want to run it up. And if it's convenient for both of us, if it make our schedule, then let's cook up. Let's do an hour. Let's do 2 hours. Let's figure it out. Man, I don't doubt nobody. If somebody want to work, if somebody trying to figure out, that very one you doubt could be the very one to give you that gem that you need to really take off. It could be the connection that you make that allows for you to really be able to run it up. So while all of these other people is trying to figure out how to hate on each other, I'm trying to figure out how to work with you. I'm trying to mine out ideas. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. The whole reason that me and Charleston, I don't know if y'all even remember, the whole reason that me and Charleston White ever hooked up in the first place is because y'all said it in the audience and you said, It was a bunch of people saying, Anton, you should do this. Anton, you should do that. Man, chat lives matter to me. I'll be listening to the people and I'll be like, The reason that I'm a C student is not that I come up with the greatest ideas, is that I figure out how to make them ideas make money. My talent is not always in just being the most creative person. My talent is trying to figure out exactly how I can make it work for us. And so when I listen to people and it started to click and it started to make sense in my head, I'm like, cool. I don't study Cat Williams. I don't study Faison Love. I may like them as comedians or I may like them in a movie. I don't study people that are the funniest or anything like that. I don't study Chris Rock. I don't study any of those people. I study, honestly, and this is the honest to God truth, I studied Kevin Hart and Country Wayne. Because Kevin Hart, I wanted to figure out how he was able to reach more audiences, do the biggest tours, how he was able to align his schedule to be the most productive. I wanted to figure out how he structured his stuff to be a little bit more clean. That's why I started cleaning up my act when it comes to some of the stuff I talk about on the internet. I can create an entirely different platform to talk the way that I want to talk late night. But when it comes to being able to reach the people, man, listen, I got a whole nother audience that's tied into the that work in daycares that want to keep me on the TV all day. I'm tied into a whole nother audience of the people that like to rock out with me while they in the church. I'm tied into, man, listen, I'm not sitting here trying to be the funniest. I ain't trying to be the coolest. I ain't trying to be the toughest. I just want to reach the biggest audience possible and let them determine whether or not they want to rock out with my message or not. I listen to the people that actually know what they doing, has the biggest work ethic, and is running up the biggest bag. I'm not trying to be the best for y'all. I'm trying to be the best to the people that look at me as an asset.
I seen it, so I ain't care what nobody said. I was doing all kinds of skits. I was an old man one time. I was a character named Drip. And I'm like, man, this money really on social media. Because that's where everybody eyeballs at.
Right.
So if I'm an advertiser,
right,
I'm going to keep pouring money into social media. So I feel like social media was the future, whether people want to accept it or not.
But you knew that.
I knew that. I knew that because I already realized, I paid attention and listened. And I realized Hollywood was always the
Blackjack said he funny to you, and that's cool. He not for everybody. It ain't even about the jokes, family. That's what y'all missing in this whole conversation. Y'all get so stuck on the dumb stuff. Y'all get so stuck on the stupid aspect of it. Whenever I see the culture arguing about something, they be arguing over the dumbest junk. Yeah, but he ain't funny as this person. Man, I align with the person that's getting the most money. Oh, you hear the baby in there? I align with the person that's getting the most money. I'm trying to figure out how this dude has figured out how he can monetize it and make more than all of these other comedians that's going on tour every day. And y'all talking about who the funniest. Man, I don't care about who the funniest. I care about who the richest. That's what I model my stuff after. Y'all can have it. Listen, I'm going to let y'all sit and argue all day long over who the funniest. This is called the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm not playing certain segments of the interview. Dang, the baby loud them up. I'm not playing certain segments of the interview in order to try to figure out who the funny is. I'm playing certain segments of the interview to figure out how it is that they're able to monetize more effectively.
Business. It never was the movie business, right? A TV show business. They always say, let us pay our bills. So you got to pay, in an army.
Commercial.
Yeah, in the army, they teach you attention to detail. Teamwork is the key. So wherever the eyeballs are at, that's where the money going to be at.
Right.
So if I'm looking to my left and the right and people on their phone all day, it's like investing in the stock. I will be stupid to believe that people are watching this more than they watching this. So I'm like, these advertisers finna start pouring this money and I'm gonna be a part of this new generation.
You got on the train early.
I got on early. And I caught the pandemic because we'll never sit down like that again.
No.
So I was like, man, we sitting down, everybody waiting to go back to work? I'm like, no.
And everybody wants to be entertained when there's no entertainment going on.
Man, I got all the kinks practicing. Okay, they like this, the algorithm like this like this, this like this, this like this, this like this. I say, bam. I say, man, listen, oh boy. I say, I'm gonna have
that boy figured out something at work, and he went and got it. He put all of his intellect. See, people look at the way that he talk and they say, "Ah, man, he must not be that." Man, listen, the way that boy start analyzing stuff and looking at things a little bit differently, I'm gonna look at it the same way.
I'm $1 billion by the time I'm 50.
Listen, I know that this interview didn't do as many numbers as Cat Williams did, but I tell you this, if I'm going to watch an interview, I'm watching this one over Cat Williams all day long. If I got it, come on. Oh, I think it's open. It's open. What's up, love? How you doing? If I'm gonna watch an interview, I'm gonna watch the one that get the most gems. I'm not gonna watch the ones that is just the most entertaining. I gotta get something out of it in order for it to be meaningful to me. If I'm gonna save an interview on my watch later list, it's gonna be this one. I don't listen. All of that entertainment that was cool. Cedric the Entertainer, yeah, he stole jokes, and that's all of that is cute. This is where the gems are. This is where the money is. This is the thing that you're supposed to be applying to your life. Forget all of that wrangling back and forth and how you feel about somebody. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about my pocketbook.
You know what I'm saying? I already seen it. It was just too many people watching social media.
Besides, obviously, you take care of your kids, you take care of your family. What are some of the other things Wayne spends his money on? What do you spend your money on for you?
For me, I got a Rolls Royce, my house furnished, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple houses. I got a house in Bel Air, house in Atlanta, condo in Atlanta.
Bel Air?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't talking about my boy Ross Drink, right? You talking about Bel Air, like right up the street from me.
Yeah, that's where I came from. Yeah.
You looking for a partner in them skits, man? You know, your boy can sing, I can dance a little.
I don't know who you think you fooling. You get Shay got his own skits. I know you be checking the RPM and CPM.
So you got a place in Bel Air, you got a place in Atlanta.
Yeah, I got a house. I got a house in McDonough, and then I got a condo in Atlanta.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You spread out, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got a couple apartments. I got 2 houses in Atlanta and another apartment, and baby mamas, everybody got apartments, but I use all that stuff to shoot skits in too.
Right.
So that's my studio.
They don't even know that's your studio. That's your.
They don't know, boy. Listen here. Boy, listen here. It's hand over fist because I understood the content and I spend my money on content.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I purchase content now to post on my page that I don't even film.
Right.
That's how I'm really working without working now.
Right.
And you know, that content, I spend my money on content. You know, so I got some real estate stuff I'm about to do. I got some movies. I put my own money up on my own movies.
Right.
My Netflix special, I finance my own special. You know what I'm saying? The license.
Now think about this for a minute. I want y'all to take two things out of what he just said, because this is what I'm taking out of it. He said he's spending more time purchasing content now. He's doing the same thing as Apple and Netflix. He's building up a content library that then generates way more revenue and allows for him to be able to get to the bag, because you can license that content and you'll be making money off of it forever. I went back and I looked at some of my old videos last night while I was on After Hours. And then when I got off of it, I went back and I looked at the analytics and the data, right? And so I was looking at how much money that's a lot of those old videos that went viral, because, you know, ever since the last time that I looked at them, some of those videos had got over 100,000 more views. The 1.6 million on one of the viral videos turned into 1.75 million, right? As far as the amount of views and watch time. And I went through and I made sure that everything was still monetized or whatever. Man, don't you know that over the last 6 months, the amount of money that content then generated for me, because it's going to live forever? Don't you know the amount of, like, from my urban exploration videos, that the amount of money that I made from them was not just from the AdSense that I got from it, but also, since I was one of the last people to document some of those structures that ain't even there anymore, that they asked me and they have to license out my content in order to be able to use it for a certain amount of time. And then if they want to continue to license it, then they got to repay for that stuff again. He's doing the same thing as Netflix and Apple and Fox and Disney, but he's doing it on a content creators level. But everybody missed the gems because everybody's so focused on whether or not they think he's funny or not. Faison Love over there missing the gems because he can't fucking he can't freaking figure out how to get into the game. You see what I'm saying? So when you start to break it down and you start to look at it, it's different. It hit different. Now, the other thing that I'll say is, think about it like this. Kountry Wayne has never had the greatest acting accolades. I'm not even sure I could remember Kountry Wayne ever even being in a movie, but he's producing a new movie. So while Taraji P. Henson is over there complaining and saying, oh my God, I can't believe that they're not paying me what they think that I'm worth, Kountry Wayne just told you that he made $20 million over the last 3 years at least. Ain't nobody waiting on nobody to give you nothing. You got to go out there and create it for yourself. We always think that somebody owe us something. It's the industry. They won't let us in. I don't need them. All I need is you. One person at a time. The way I started my content creation career is that I went out on the streets and I would interact with people, and then I would make sure that they remembered my name, which allowed for me to make them a fan one person at a time, because one turned into two, two turned into four, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64, 64 to 128, 128 to 512. Like, this is a snowball effect. You see what I'm saying? And you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about what somebody ain't giving me. I don't have to be the most talented in your eyes. I just got to be the most talented in your eyes. Because my audience going to find me. It's 9 billion people on the face of this earth. You think that my audience ain't going to find me? You think that I got to wait for a system in order to make sure that I get my people? My people is my people.
Netflix, so I spend my money. I flip my money.
Right.
Because I grew up flipping, so I'm addicted to the flip.
Right.
Some people get addicted to the drug, but I got addicted to flipping.
Right.
So I love taking my money and investing into me, because I know.
Because you believe in you.
Oh, I believe in me. Wayne gonna get it. They can say what they want to about Wayne every time. The country boy here, I ain't stuck what they talking about.
I mean, obviously, like growing up how we grew up in small towns, you're from Millen, Georgia, I'm from Glenville, Georgia, and only you dream like, man, to know that you got a place in Bel Air and you bi-coastal, you got places in Atlanta, and this place, as I mentioned, in Bel Air. What is Wayne right now? What are you most proud of what you've been able to do thus far?
Man, applaud the people that work with me, man. To see they, you know what I'm saying, like my boy Mike Bliss, me and my brother were going through the numbers, and I'm like, man, I paid him $1 million this year. You know what I'm saying? And the people that I be able to bless, I'm like, man, I'm able to bless everybody, seeing everybody else get their cars and their businesses. That's the most thing. That's the most, all that stuff. I only got a place in LA because, you know, by the time you come out here, handle your business, get Airbnbs, add up to about the same.
Right.
So I'm like, I got to have a place comfortable. My clothes are already here. I got,
right.
So.
And it's a place to call your own.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So when I'm out here, I can write clear, but man, the most, I'm proud of being able to bless others, man. When I see that, I be like, dang, look at Ro. Look at my sisters, look at my brothers. They balling.
Right.
I'm like, man, that's what it's about, man. That's the only thing that get me, like, I get excited for them to get more.
Look at this, look at this right here. Live in them hills might have to bow to the keeper. My people are the worst. I do. I believe that my people are the worst. I believe that God cursed the majority of the culture to just be victims for the rest of their life. God cursed them. Even when he took them out of the hands of Pharaoh and they had the Red Sea swallow up Pharaoh because Pharaoh's heart was hardened, they were still whining and complaining. I think that my people are some of the worst ever, bro.
Right.
Boy, I'm like, boy, I can't wait to pay. If I pay you $1 million this year, boy, I'm trying to pay you $2 million next year. Because the more I pay you, the more I know I got coming.
Right.
So that's what I'm proud of the most.
What's your favorite luxury item that you own?
My favorite luxury item, I ain't gonna lie, man. I got that pepper, that pink Rolls Royce, and it was the only one of its kind that had. I like that.
Why'd you get pink? You don't sell no damn Mary Kay?
Nah, the Beverly, the guy at the Beverly Hills, man, Rolls Royce. Old time they used for like they show black. I mean, he thought I got it wrapped,
right?
But that's the only color they made, like that. So I was like, this special. This my favorite. This one of my favorite dream trucks.
Hold on, wait.
It'll always be.
Y'all want to see my brother?
Who are you looking at? I can't see him.
That's you right there.
Oh, okay. Who else is on the thing?
It's over 2,000 people in here. No, it's 2,000 people watching this.
Oh, wow.
You got skin here.
It's just fly.
This is my oldest brother, Dre. A lot of people ain't seen a lot of my family, but yeah, this is my oldest brother, Jay. All right, let me go ahead and finish this last stream. I'll be in there in a minute.
All right.
Different, because it's the black badge and it's pink.
You know you can't creep in that.
That's the only problem.
You can't creep, no, you can't.
That's the only problem, man. I can't goddamn drive it.
What's the favorite place you've been? What's your favorite place to travel to? Where does Wayne go to relax?
LA. Because they got this vegan food out here.
Oh man, this man talking about some vegan food.
Yeah, I eat all day. When I'm out here, I handle my business and they support the vegan movement. It be food everywhere. The restaurants is good, so I love coming to LA.
Well, I mean, in Atlanta, the only place I know the Slutty Vegan.
Yeah, shout out to Slutty Vegan. But Atlanta don't really support it like that.
Nah.
Especially if you stay on the outskirts. See, and out here you could be on the outskirts.
Oh, they got it.
And they still got it.
Yeah.
So I love LA, man. You know, for real.
Jewelry. I mean, you got a nice subtle piece. You got a nice watch, a ring, but you're not draped. You're not dripping.
Nah, man. I keep me a watch. It's Rolls Royce Presidential with the flawless diamonds, pink and ring, VVS, and I keep my Jesus popping chain. And that's about the only jewelry in the earring. I keep the same set.
That's it.
Yep.
You purchased anything else?
Nah. I purchased something for my family. Like my daughter, I just bought her VVS chain, and my son, they got VVS's. And I got cars, I got Maybach, and you know what I'm saying, G-Wagon, Sprinter vans, and all that.
I mean, when you went out and when not in Cali, you let your boy get that,
Oh,
somebody said, "How's my brother?" Did y'all see my mother, or did y'all miss that part of the show? Y'all didn't see my mother? Jesus Christ. Anyways, my brother looked just like him. I mean, my mother looked just like him.
Yeah,
that's my bob.
Yeah, the Maybach out here. I keep that out here.
I know you do. That's what I'm saying.
I could drive, and nobody don't know who I am. So everybody in LA, it's Maybachs all through the street.
All through, and that's how your boy be able to fit in. I'll be able to get in and get out.
You got it all. I'm finna ask you some questions.
What's investing? You mentioned about how you like to flip your money. So you in the flipping game. Some people get enjoyment out of other things. You like, okay, I'm gonna take my money, put it here, knowing I'm gonna double, 2x it, 3x it. Where did you learn that from?
Streets. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't getting that dope fronted and you got to buy it, you know what I'm saying? You got to buy your dope, sell it. You got to sell it, put your re-up back first, then you keep the profit. And sometimes you made enough profit, you put it back in the mortar, so you buy a bigger package. Because the more you got, the more you able to move.
Right.
So the streets, if you make it out, you know what I'm saying? I tell everybody, ain't too many people in my position, especially a comedian. My kind of person don't make it here.
Right.
We're in prison. We probably got out. We got us a lawn service or a trucking business or something. You can't be cool and get some money and make it here because the eyeballs on you too early.
Right.
Y'all said, so you having a family day, everybody? No, everybody is here to see Rita right now. So everybody is over there to see Rita because, they checking on her and making sure that she's taken care of and stuff like that. So it's a lot of family that's flying in from out of town. Some family live close to me. But we are really, really close-knit. So that's my oldest brother. Actually, it's funny because my oldest brother is 7 years older than me. So we tease him about that all the time. And his gray is really starting to come through on his beard. But yeah, so the whole family is here to see Rita because, she had her surgery yesterday. So everybody is here to see her. And we all family. Like everybody is really family. So everybody is here with the babies and stuff like that. So we're going to have a whole full day today. But let me get back to this investment part because there's one part that I want to actually get to that people earmarked for me.
You know what I'm saying? Think about the dude at high school that was number one. He never make it.
Right.
Everybody be like, high school, you was it. So I still got that same mentality from the streets because most people from the streets don't make it.
Right.
Every once in a while you get a Jay-Z or 50 who understand the flip game. But it's always, brother, if you, like I tell people who be in this film industry and stuff, if you ain't finna put no money in you, why would a studio just give you some money?
Right.
Just think about that. If my kids don't put no work in, I'm not finna help you with your basketball career and you ain't practicing yourself.
Right.
So I always knew, man, when you flip that money and believe in you, some kind of way,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And I believe in flipping that money. Like, I got a movie that I just finished the script. Me and Stephen Lord did they clone Tyrone. We teaming up and doing the movie.
Right.
Now we got to go pitch it to the studios after this step.
Right.
Finna hit up Robert Townsend. That's what we getting as director.
Right.
I ain't worried about the because the movie 10 million or whatever, I'm gonna film it myself.
Right.
So
he said, listen, he don't care nothing about no no's. He don't care nothing about no gatekeepers. He don't care nothing about none of that. He put his own money up. Even when he go out and let's just say somebody, finance the rest of it or pay for it from him. He said, look, man, I'm going to put my own money up. I don't need nobody else. I don't need nobody else to make sure that I'm taken care of. I don't need nobody else. And see, that's the difference between a person that is intentional and is not waiting for anything, all they need is an opportunity. They waiting, they got the talent, they gonna figure it out, and all they need is the opportunity. My high school principal always said that success is when opportunity meets preparation. They prepared, and they just waiting on the opportunity. I'm gonna be successful. And he said, listen, I ain't worried about what nobody else is talking about. I'm doing me. I'm running it up. I'm putting my own money up, and we going to get to that bag. I love, man, I'm telling you, bro, I model my work ethic. I model how I do things. I model the way that I figure out how to get the money. And if anybody is a part of the Patreon, you know, it's people that got way. I mean, I'm doing really well from a subscriber's perspective, right? I'm blessed. You know, I'm among the top 1% of people that actually get to certain levels in YouTube and content creation in a general sense. But when you really break it down, and the Patreon members have seen the amount of money that we bust down, they see the type of money that we take down. They see my deposits every single month. And that's just on one front. They also see the sponsorships. They see the way that I monetize. Ain't nobody getting more money than us. In no way, shape, or yeah, it's gonna be a couple, right? You're gonna have the Aiden Rosses and stuff like that. But in a general sense, we don't care about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna get to it. We're going to maximize what can be maximized. All of my receipts is in a Patreon. I actually log in, I show the people, I give them the receipts, I break it down, I tell them how they can do it too. And that's on you, how you play it from there. But ain't nobody busting down more money than us. I will tell you this. It's huge, massive YouTubers that get coaching from me. And they got 5 times the subscribers that I got, 6 times, 7 times the subscribers that I got. And they not getting more money than us. And so I coach them on how they can maximize the return on what it is that they got putting out there. Hey, you need to focus on this. This is the best way to do it, or whatever. But I give all of that to my bag chasers. The chasers is getting that. They got that video to live forever that they can reference. And so I'm telling you, bro, it's so much money. It is so, bro, money is everywhere. Money is all around you. And I ain't even just talking about from a content creation perspective. I'm talking about money is everywhere. I look out the window and I see so many opportunities. I just don't have the capacity to be able to do it. And so I have to make an informed decision on which direction that I want to go in, because it's only 24 hours in a day. And if I did anything else, I really wouldn't sleep. I already run this. I already do the real estate. I already built the houses. I already got the web development company. I already maximized on the fact that I'm literally dialed into work right now, making money at work while I'm talking to you on this live stream. And people will come to me and say, I can't believe you got a regular job. Nigga, I can't believe that you broke. I got 8 streams of income. What you mean you can't believe I got a regular job? I can't believe you ain't working 2 jobs at the same time. What's the goal? Is the goal to get richer or illegally, or is the goal to just sit here and talk about and talk about what somebody else is trying to get?
Oh, it's like a confidence come with, and trust me, when they know you got money, people are hard to tell you no. Right. A woman ain't finna let you go while you up. Unless she got that prenup with you. So the whole game is like a woman. So I just learned that from the street. The algorithm, the business, everything like a woman's energy. So man, you gotta flip that money.
Do you like investment properties, stocks?
Yeah, I do that too. I'm investing back in my hometown, and I'm gonna film skits while I'm doing it. When Wayne goes back to his hometown, I'm gonna monetize off the whole process. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you get a subdivision down there, you get like 30 lots for like $500,000. Then you spend some $200,000 houses on each house. You know what I'm saying? So 200,000 times 30, about $6 million. You got your whole 30 houses. You got the opportunity to rent them out, and if you do that cash, once you get all that cash, you go take that back to the bank and get a loan. Now you got your cash back. Because if you start off with cash, the game is easy. Right. It's like if you buy one house for $500,000 cash, right? Mm-hmm. And you want to buy another one, you take the money back to the bank, get your $500 back, or even if they give you $380, you get them $120 somewhere, you buy another house. As long as you start off with cash, you can always keep going. And you've been on built up, but it's when you try to initiate with no cash. Right. Boy, I tell people, boy, if you go to a table with not a plate, right, you'll do anything with some food. Right.
That was a deep one. That was actually pretty deep. If you go to the table with no plate, you would do anything for some food. I'm stealing that. You go to the table without, you ain't bringing nothing to the table. So if you go to the table without a plate, you would do anything for some food.
Great analogy.
Yeah, that was dope. And you can apply that to a lot of these, the Taraji P. Hensons and all of that. Hey, that was deep. What is that?
Vitamins for you.
Oh my God. No, I don't want it.
Yes.
I don't want
just
that.
It's just supplements. Vitamin A, B, B12 complex.
Let me put this on you.
No. Vitamin C, vitamin D, fish oil.
Why are you stirring it with the other end of the?
Because I blend the vitamins. Oh, because I don't want to put the big spoon in. But I blend the vitamins so it can absorb into my system faster. It's only supplements, Anton. Calcium.
Oh my God.
Here, taste it.
Oh, why I gotta taste it? Ma, this looks like goop. Is it nasty?
Yes.
I'm not doing this.
Just taste it.
No, heck no.
You need these. You can't go wrong.
Okay, I like real vitamins. I don't want to eat goop.
Real vitamins.
No, I don't want the goop. I don't want the goop. I get the real vitamins afterwards. I got you. No, I got it. No, I got it.
You know I'm a health nut.
I know you are. I'm straight. I'm straight. Jesus.
Look, you gotta keep it together. All fall apart.
Anyways, shout out to Kountry Wayne. Running it up and getting to the bag. And they said, "Where's the belt?" They said, "I need a whooping. Where's the belt at?"
I need a whooping?
No, I need a whooping.
You do need a whooping. You do. Here, hold on. Let me get the belt.
I'm okay. I'll drink some water. All right, y'all. Listen, let me read some of these super chats and then I'm going to get y'all out of here for the day. We're going to get it popping. AR Smitty is in the building, says 2,000+ is watching. Shout out to AR Smitty holding me down. I appreciate you. Scooby Don is in the building, says Wayne was funny. His jokes just got played out. That's a fact. Mr. Too Fresh says Roger Stone said they have to replace another woman of color, Michelle Obama, over a Kamala Harris. They can't put Gavin Newsom over Kamala. Kamala is supposed to be next up. So to need Michelle to run for the Democratic National Convention? Oh my God. All of this identity politics, this is what you are next up. Let me give a shout out to my dog Ash. Says AD, I would not vote for a woman president. Me either. Michelle Obama is nowhere near qualified to be any nation's president. That's crazy to think anybody will vote for her in the first place. Give it up to the black matriarch community following a black woman. Not my vote. Hashtag MAGA. I feel you, bro. I am on the same playing field, and I appreciate you for holding me down, my friend. Knicks Fan TV says all facts. It's not about who's good or not. It's a out the diamond, analyze the business model supply. I agree 100%. Identity politics is dead. Mo Better says, hey, AD and MMS, the Millionaire Morning Show, I thought the original point of a sanctuary city meant cities that would not turn illegals over to ICE. How did providing free food, shelter, and health care, et cetera, come into play? We don't know what the agenda is. I mean, we can all guess, but we don't know what the agenda is. God bless the Daniels family. Can you pray for me? Absolutely. What would you like for me to pray for, Jacquel? Here, I'm going to come back to that one. Chris J says, team 80 hours a week. Shout out to my dog, Chris J. I am DPP, discipline, prioritize, and purpose. says people don't realize content creation is the gift that keeps on giving. It's like a really smart way to make extra money. If more entertainers eventually come into space, Wayne came up something seriously. That's a fact. But it don't matter because everybody can't do what we do. Life of Scony in the building says, whoever said Wayne ain't funny is a whole lot. Those skits ain't for me. But standard-wise, he is one of the best on 2 feet. Don't curse, no squeaking. Shout out to my dog, Life of Scony in the building. Listen, Jaquel, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what's going on, but you said, can we pray for you? So we absolutely, positively can pray for you, Jaquel. All right? So, all right, before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, you know when one of our brothers and sisters say that they want us to pray for them, then we got to make sure that we touch and agree because where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of us. So, Lord, we would like for you to, or we want to come to you on the behalf of Jaquel. And it's a serious moment. We don't know what it is, but you know what it is. As a matter of fact, you know more about what it is and what he needs than he knows. And so we ask you to intercede on his behalf, ensure that whatever happens, that is not more than he can bear, and that he come out 10 times better than he thought he was, and that he focuses on the process, not necessarily focus on the results, because life happens to everybody, but he know that you with him. We know that you with him because we with him, and the only way that you can show that we can show that we love you is by obeying your commandments and showing that we love the people that you put on here on this earth in order to serve and love. So again, we come to you on his behalf because this is our brother. This is our brother in Christ. This is our brother in real life. And whatever it is that he's asking for or whatever it is that he needs, we ask you to intercede, be there for him, and then comfort him in the process. We ask all of these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. All right? So listen, Jaquel, I'm going to tell you this. Whatever it is that we prayed for, don't you sit here and worry. Don't you go back and forth with it. Don't overly think through it. It's already in God's hands. It's already beyond your hands. And if you gonna take care of it, then what's the point of us asking him to intercede on your behalf? You got to trust that whatever happens, no matter whether you think it's good or bad, you got to trust that whatever happens, that it is exactly what it's supposed to be. And that long term, you're going to look back on this and you're going to say, yes, I'm glad that played out exactly the way it played out. So again, y'all, listen, we love each other. We want to make sure that we hold each other down. And we want to make sure that we continue to bless each other, right? Again, I largely believe that the way that we show that we love God is how we show we love each other. All right? We got to love on each other. And sometimes that love comes in the form of criticism and accountability. Sometimes that love just comes in the form of, compassion and love. Sometimes it comes in the form of prayer. Sometimes it just comes in the form of them knowing that we all got each other back and that you're not going through it by yourself, because none of us are. You guys pray for me. I pray for you. We a family. We a community. And I think that you guys are the greatest group of people that I could ever do life with. I wouldn't want to do life with anybody but y'all. Real talk. All right? I love y'all. You got this, Jaquel. We behind you, big dog. We looking for a testimony coming soon to show that it manifested and it worked out the way that it was supposed to. All right? So listen, I'm going to either do after hours tonight or tomorrow. Tonight or tomorrow, we doing after hours, y'all, okay? So I'm going to let y'all know, and it's largely depending on whatever this situation play on, because I don't know if it's going to be a bunch of people over here. I don't know if she's going to need me. I don't know what that's going to look like. So it's either tonight or tomorrow. We're going to be doing after hours, and we're going to be running it up, all right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, family. One more favor. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Y'all my family. If you haven't already, make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And we running it up. All right? I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.